Hello again. In case you didn't watch us yesterday, I'm Matt, the editor-in-chief of Polski Game Dev, and I have a pleasure and/or duty to show you some of the most exciting upcoming Polish video games. Today we'll start with a game based on a cult traditional role-playing system. Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest, the new title set in the universe of World of Darkness, is a text-based RPG which explores Białowieża Forest, one of the last remaining primeval forests in Europe. Let's get lost in it, shall we?
Hello, my name is Artur Ganszyniec. I'm the designer and writer for different tales, and today we'll be playing Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. The game is set in the World of Darkness, and this is a very cool franchise about modern horror in which you are the monsters. And this game is set in the Werewolf the Apocalypse setting. It's a game about werewolves, about shape-shifting monsters who are the defenders of the earth, and they fight losing battle against greed and technology. And the game starts in the forest. We'll talk more about the forest later. As you can see, this is a modern version of a modern approach to a visual novel. So I love the soundscape and I love the art. For me, it's very emotional and evocative, and I hope the text is also quite okay. It might be similar to this game, sort of choose your adventure games, but when we were writing the game, we focused more, I think, on the inner life of the protagonist than on what happens on the outside. So you get to decide what happens in the game, because almost every choice matters in the Heart of the Forest, but you also get to decide about how the protagonist, how Maya reacts to what happens, what angers her, and we got to shape the relationships with other characters. As you can see, we also have some there's this system, RPG system level hidden under the text, where you balance your rage and your willpower. Rage is a very werewolf thing. It's the heart of the game. It's the anger that burns in the heart of every werewolf, and it gives them the power to change shape and to do stuff. But at the same time, it's a very dangerous weapon, because when you rage, you don't think clearly. You may hurt people, even those you like. So in the game, in every scene, there's at least part of the scene that changes depending on your rage. Like here, you wake up when your rage is high, and your friend is worried about you because you were shouting through your sleep, and your instinct is to push her away, but you can spend a point of your willpower to overcome the rage and to react like a normal person, not like some kind of raging monster. And let me tell you something about the place where the game is set, the locations. Because we set the game in Poland, because obviously we know Poland very well, because it's like the country we grew up in and where our studio is located. And the game is set in Białowieża forest. This is one of the oldest primordial forests in Europe, and perhaps one of the last. It's a home to the last European bison, and several packs of wolves live there. There's a national park, but outside of the park, yet still inside like of the body of the forest, there was a logging, an illegal logging a few years before, and we sort of inspired our game. The game is inspired by those events, by the logging. And this picture is very nostalgic for me, because there's this very old Autosan bus. It's probably not used anymore, but it's a type of bus that I used to ride a lot when I was a child. So yeah, nice memories from my vacations. And as you can see, the character Maya, she's Polish American, and she came to Poland to study medicine, but she suspects there's a dark secret in her family's past, because she dreams of Białowieża forest almost every night and feels the forest is calling to her, and she wants to uncover the mystery, to find out the truth about who she is. And because this is a werewolf game, we can expect that there is some, you know, dirty, bloody secret hidden in her past. So as you can see, another like mechanical outcome of the rage and the willpower system is that when you deplete your willpower, when you use all your willpower, some actions are hard or almost impossible. So it's like, it's a balance. As I said, many parts of the game is about how you react and how the world reacts to you. Oh, like here, you try to pet a cat, and the cat swatted you with its paw because it felt the rage that was, you know, burning in you. Or here in this part, you are waiting for a friend, but you used all your willpower, so when Anya, the girl you came here, asked you to just go home because she's tired, you don't really have the strength to argue with her. You would have if you had some willpower to spend. Actually, we've been to Białowieża a few times during the production to take some pictures and generally to do the research. So some parts of the game are based on places that we've seen quite lately. And we have a character sheet, like, because we are heavily inspired by tabletop RPG, and you have basic info about the character, your personality. The personality changes as you play. You uncover who your Maya really is. So my Maya could be different than your Maya depending on how you play. So let's go. Yeah, let's go and see the forest we dreamed about. And Anya comes with me, but it also is a result of our previous interactions. And a new character appears, Daniel. He's a local tour guide, and he's here to show you the forest. And he's a strange guy, and he's calling the forest by a Polish name, Puszcza, because in Polish there's a difference between a forest and a primordial forest, and Puszcza is the right word for an old forest. And because Polish is, you know, weird in this way that every word has its like grammatical gender. So Puszcza is a she, and she's a character in the story. You can have a relation with the forest, good or bad, depending on your choices. And so we used Maya because she has a reason to be here, because her family comes from Białowieża, but at the same time she's new to all of this, new to the place, new to the traditions, new to the whole, you know, supernatural thing. So she's a perfect vehicle for the player, for me, because with her I'm learning about the forest. I am learning about the world of darkness, and as I play, more and more secrets are uncovered. And here, as you can see, I learned something about my family, and this is my goal in this playthrough, and I regained some willpower. So I spent the willpower to make hard choices and to overcome my rage, to control my rage, and I regain willpower by following the goals that Maya sets for herself. We decided to go and see a place of power, and all the places that we are using in the game are like real places. There are some ancient graves in the Puszcza that were built by a culture, by a tribe that's gone for like 2,000 years. There is a story about wolf cubs that were taken by villagers and then rescued by scientists that were like researching the Puszcza, or there's this it's called the place of power, and in the 90s it was like a hot location for dowsers, like people who believe in radiesthetic energies and stuff like this. But in the world of darkness, this magic can be real, and so we take places that are really there, that really have their secrets, and we add this supernatural level to this, like this magic that comes from the world of darkness. And as you can see, with every choice you make, not every, but with many choices, influence not only the story, but also your relationship with other characters, and this then influences the story. So sometimes we are asked how many endings we have, but I think what's fun about the Heart of the Forest, that we have many middles. We have different endings, but apart from that we have many middles, so I can play one way or another, and even if I'm in the same scene with different rage, different relations, the scene can be different. So yeah, I think we are nearing the end of our 15 minutes, and I don't want to spoil the whole demo for you, so let's just enjoy the music and the illustration. And I hope you will play the full version of Heart of the Forest and uncover the story of Maya, and that you will have fun with our Werewolf the Apocalypse game. Yeah, so have fun!
Werewolf the Apocalypse is a perfect choice if you're into furry. But if you want to take control of a furry comic book action hero in the vein of Flash Gordon, you probably should check Furry Unleashed, combat-driven action platformer made by Awesome Games Studio. How awesome it is? Let's find out.
Hi, this is Zbyszek from Awesome Games Studios, and welcome to a gameplay preview of our newest title, Fury Unleashed. The game is a roguelite action platformer with a few twists that takes place inside different comic books. You might find it similar to titles like Rogue Legacy and Dead Cells, but we've also been heavily inspired by classic game series like Contra and Metal Slug. The comic book aesthetics made into a gameplay might also remind you of Comic Zone. You play as an action hero of his or her own story. You are the most powerful thing in the universe, but your glory days are coming to an end. Thing is, your creator, the author of Fury Unleashed comic book series, John Kowalski, have a creativity crisis. You must regain your lost greatness by defeating anything that stands in your way and maybe prove yourself to be the hero your creator once believed in. Explore the pages of a living comic book where ink is your most valuable resource and each room is a comic panel. For this game, we've done our best to create an original and fun combo system that rewards you, as a player, with many different bonuses. Health regeneration, additional damage, crit chance, protection shield, you name it. Play aggressively, don't hold back, and you'll be rewarded. We've wanted to make a roguelike game that won't punish you for playing carefully, but encourages role-playing as an unstoppable action hero. Naturally, if there's a hero, there must be a villain. We've prepared quite a lot of enemies for you to fight. There are different obstacles in each level, and every comic book has its own style and range of hazards. That said, the hero, Fury, will visit different worlds on its journey to greatness. The Aztec jungle you see here is filled with mutated wildlife and raised undead. Cursed skeletons return from the afterlife, summoned by ancient gods with the use of blood magic. That's also the reason why they bleed. World War II Nazi army found a way to travel in time and obtain a super weapon to win the war. Fury will make a short walk of them in their own pace. Plowing through the enemy squadrons, tanks, helicopters and war mechs. There will be no evildoers to survive that fateful meeting. Even if the whole Earth was threatened to be destroyed by an advanced alien race, you will stand and fight. Let those 12-legged freaks know that their odd technology and quirky weapons don't stand a chance with human fighting spirit. And that heavy machine gun of yours. Have I mentioned there are bosses to face and defeat? Not just any bosses, mind you. There are 40 powerful enemies with their own health bars. Even the main antagonist of the set world can be different each time you play through it. You'll have plenty of fun mastering their movesets and finding weaknesses in their defense. Spoiler alert, most of them die from tons of damage to their face. The game's a roguelite, so the levels you play are randomized each time you start a new run. We've made a ton of predefined landform combinations for each type of room size in every world. While levels are being generated, every room is getting a randomized mix of passages, enemies, traps, platforms, etc. The amount of combinations is big enough to ensure that you won't ever enter the same comic book page again. The same thing goes for weapons and equipment. We've wanted for you to never feel bored by the lack of diverse weaponry. There are over 30 types of weapons in the game. Yes, types, not just weapons. Each category hosts its own items with different ways of firing. Some weapons also come in one- or two-handed variations, and some can be deployed in akimbo. Ho ho ho, it's a dual crossbow. And that's not counting the melee weapons, different types of grenades, and few superpowers to spice things up from time to time. There are also multiple parts of armor to wear, artifacts, and all that good stuff you'd like to see in a game like this. Naturally, sometimes you'll need a quick fix or a repair of your gear. That's where the game's NPCs come to play. While busy destroying all that comes in your way, don't forget to say hi to Fury's friends. I mean those other friends. Multiple characters will aid you on your journey through the comic book world. For example, the Gunlord will make sure you're armed to the teeth, and the Doctor will heal you, all for a price, naturally. You'll be paying for those services using golden ink that drops from the enemies. and is also rewarded for different challenges along the way. That currency is lost or death, but it's a roguelite, so death is not an end, at least in a way. The black ink you gain stays with you throughout your journey and is used to upgrade your hero. There's a skill tree that grants you additional stats and bonuses to help you survive even the toughest fights. You are also free to redistribute spent points at any time, switching your build and trying something new. While on the topic of player customization, there's quite a lot of it. Not only will you be selecting the starting weapons, but also the looks of Fury. Your hero can be of a male or female body structure, but can also be a robot, a skeleton, an eldritch monster, or a furry. But we won't be changing the game's name to Fairy Unleashed, if that's fine with you. There's also a Steam Workshop support, in case you'd like to have a little facelift. Oh, almost forgot to mention, we've made the game possible to be played with a friend. Two-player couch co-op is ready to be run from a get-go, if you have a trusted friend by your side. We are also working on adding an online cooperation mode, but that will come in a later time. All the distraction you do is accompanied by catchy tunes composed by Adam Skorupa and Krzysztof Wierzynkiewicz. You might know some of their work, as they've been making music for games like Bulletstorm, Shadow Warrior 2 and The Witcher. Each level has its own tune that increases in intensity as you grow your kill combo. We've been making the game for 5 years and are happy that it is finally available for everyone to enjoy. Fury Unleashed had a 3-year early access period, in which we've been closely monitoring the players' feedback and improving the game on its basis. We've had our full release on May 2020, and the game is available on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. The PC version also consists of Steam and GOG releases, both supporting Windows, Linux and Mac OS. As a small development studio, we welcome you to try the game out. We believe you won't be disappointed. comic book themed action roguelite Fury Unleashed is available now on all modern platforms. Thanks for watching our gameplay preview. We wish you an awesome day!
Last but certainly not least, we present you a game about building and customizing model vehicles. Moonlit, the developers behind Deadliest Catch the Game, describe Model Builder as a game which brings you a joy of, model building. It sounds simple, but just as in real life, the devil is in the details. That's all for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another broadcast organized by Indie Games Poland Foundation and Polish Ministry of Culture and National Heritage. See you guys soon.